Hey, welcome to Gunny's Sharp Talk. So I want to clarify the whole stone in hand video that I did yesterday. So here we have uh, just a Kershaw, neighbor's Kershaw. I don't know if you can see it on camera because I can't really see the camera. But it's pretty chipped up, pretty beat up. The edge bevel isn't even. It's a little convexed. Yeah, typical, right? That's what you get a lot with people that use their knives. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take about a 300 grit stone and I'm going to de-stress the edge. So what I'm doing here is running it across here like I'm cutting into the stone. Sometimes I'll use the edge. So I've got a nice flat surface for an apex. And any stressed metal or beat up metal, I'm removing it. And the reason for that is so I don't get a sharp edge, but I still have weak metal there and your edge doesn't last. I know my workbench is a mess. Been doing all kinds of sharpening and repairs, and I got pretty unorganized yesterday, but that's beside the point. So I'm going to use, for the purpose of the video, 150 grit 1x6 stone for the stone in hand. Take Sharpie, and as I said before, I cut into my Sharpies. They're specifically for marking an edge bevel. So I kind of cut into it and I can raise or lower the Sharpie to hit a wider or more narrow edge bevel. Mark both sides. Slipped off there. I know some people want to draw on it. My hand isn't that steady and I have marker all over the blade. So I have a drip mat. It's basically a piece of flooring or covering that goes in a boat floor to keep water off the rug down there. So, as I said before, lay your spine flat. All right, with this, because of that, I have to lay it flat in front of the very edge. But I don't know if you can see that gap. I really can't see the camera. Hopefully you can. But there's a gap there between the edge bevel and the stone. Raise your spine up until your bevel is flat on the stone. If it's a uneven bevel, use the largest part of the flat spot, the amount that's touching the stone the most for your angle. I mean, I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna move forward because I like to start right here at the back. I'm gonna scrub back and forth, and then I'm gonna look and make sure that I remove the Sharpie with that motion. If I didn't, I need to adjust my angle. If your Sharpie, you're only removing it towards the edge, then you're too high. If you're only removing it towards the shoulder, you're too low. If you're barely removing it on the edge, you're destroying the apex, or what will be the apex. So you're way too high. And you'll feel like you're cutting into the stone. So again, my angle, do a scrubbing motion. Now, when I get to here on the belly, once the angle starts raising, and the reason for that is your tip is closer to the spine. So you see the thickness of the spine. So your steel gets thicker there than it is down here. So that raises your angle because you have thicker steel there. So find my angle again. So as I'm coming through and I start to round this belly and my angle starts to go up, I keep it the bevel in contact with the stone, and my elbow starts coming up as I come around, however high that needs to go. Now I lock my wrist, bones in alignment. A lot of times I'll put one finger here or one finger here. However you want to grip it is fine, but keep your wrist locked. Keep your wrist rigid. This is hold your angle. Your wrist does. This creates your angle. I like this to be a little more relaxed, or you're going to wear yourself out. Put some more water on this. Anyways, again, get the angle. So as I'm coming around, my elbow comes up. You don't have to go as fast as I do. You can go all edge leading or all edge trailing motions if you want. Scrubbing's faster, but find what is comfortable for you. I like to hold the stone in close to me, but as you've seen on the other video, sometimes I use the stone to create my angle, and that, I guess, just comes from years of doing this. This bevel's uneven, so sometimes it can get tricky. When your bevel's really uneven and kind of wavy, you're only going to remove the Sharpie in certain spots. So pick a spot that you can remove it all the way through to pick your angle. And honestly, if you're first starting out, learning to sharpen freehand or stone in hand, I would find a fixed system if you could and set your bevel. So you're working with a flat bevel. And at first learn to sharpen flat bevels, holding your angle on them. Now I've said before, and people have argued with me, that stropping is a good way to learn to hold your angle. I've had people try to say it's different muscle memory. Well, maybe for them, but my stropping, I'm laying the bevel down the same way. So pick a way that works for you. Like I said, you can come in like this. You can go away. I prefer to scrub through most of the motion because I set bevels faster that way. Give me just a second and we'll see if I'm even creating an even bevel doing this. It's getting there. Like I said, the bevel was pretty uneven. At least this side was. This side's not as bad. I don't know if you can tell with the marker on there, but yeah, the marker you kind of can't tell. But this is where I'm at right now. So if you hold your angle really steady, you have, I hear people say you can't create a really flat bevel freehand, that it's all going to be convex. It's not true. You can create a very flat bevel freehand. It is easy to convex because you're not holding your angle. But if you keep your wrist stiff, then it's a lot easier to hold your angle. Got a burr in part of the bevel. And in the beginning, I'm not worried about creating a burr. I'm trying to even out my edge bevel. And by focusing on evening out my edge bevel, usually by the time I have it even, then I have a burr anyways. If I'm starting with an even edge bevel, then I will focus more on burr creation. It just depends on what I'm doing. And then I don't want to quite got a small burr, so I don't try to create a really big burr because I don't need it. I just need enough of a burr to know that I hit the apex. Yeah, this one's uneven too, but we'll get there. So on this, I'm kind of doing like I did yesterday, just so you guys can see on camera. I'm not raising or lowering my elbow. I'm moving the stone. You can do that too, but I would suggest not doing that in the beginning, because this is something that, not saying I'm the most skilled in the world, but to move your, just to go back and forth in the scrubbing motion with your blade and to move the stone up and down or across like this, like I am, to make sure that I'm hitting my angles, takes a lot more skill, I guess. Does definitely take a lot of practice. Towards the tip, this is pretty bad. Off pretty bad. Starting to even out a little though. Just got really, really steep towards the tip versus the rest of the blade. And for any of you guys doing stone in hand, I don't suggest working small areas like I am right now to even this out. I suggest you working the whole bevel, even once you have a big burr at one end or something, because it will help you keep the bevel even. I just have done this enough. I can keep it even if I need to work on one area a little bit. See, I don't know if you can, the camera's picking that up, but that's getting pretty even. I'm not going to do this whole sharpening on camera because I don't want to make a really long video, but you get the idea. If you guys have any questions, please drop them down below, or message me on Facebook or whatever. That was the reason for the second video. I had some questions, so I slowed some things down. Hopefully you guys can pick that up. I'd appreciate it if you like, share, all that good stuff. I really appreciate the interaction. As long as I feel like people are getting something out of the videos, I will keep doing them. I know it's not high quality production, but honestly, I'm not big on doing the videos anyways. I just want to share information with the sharpening community. I don't want to be a famous YouTuber or anything like that. In fact, it's kind of a catch-22. I want to share with as many people as I can at the same time. I hope the channel never gets that big, because that's not really what I care about. I care about sharpening, and I care about helping people to learn sharpening in as many different ways as I can. So I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching.